That's kind of the theme today is young people struggling. It's something that kind of hits home for me at times. And then it's always someone like retired at their vacation home that's just like work harder. And like what they're paying is like laughable. Or like they talk about how they can't find any talent. I'm like, well, it's because they're doing other jobs that make more money. Have fallen further faster than like pretty much any other demographic. It's just like insane. Is college not worth it? Perhaps. I mean, honestly, it kind of makes me a little bit depressed, kind of breaks my heart. The right rear tire was always defective, and that tire was always bald. Every time. That was the most cash I ever had, was that period of my life. So what do you got for Q4 goals? What'd you hammer out?
Well, I started hammering. And I think that's the most important part.
All right. Better get to it. We got about 3 weeks left.
So if you look around when you come in the house, there's obviously some projects that haven't been finished yet.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife.
Getting close to that New Year's resolution. And this year I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Now it's almost time for that again.
Yeah.
Put that back on the list.
I forget what podcast he sent me, and he was talking about how that was like one of the perks of renting is like you could move whenever you wanted. But then there was another segment on that where he was talking about just always being ready. So like a lot of people put off all this stuff until it's time to move. Guilty. Actually, the last house I put off that bathroom remodel for 2 years, like finishing it. It was like 80% for a year and a half, and then I decided to move. I'm like, well, now's the time. So anyway. That's my goal. I started a spreadsheet of all the outstanding projects I have yet, and I didn't quite get done with the spreadsheet, but I haven't decided if it's going to be 2 hours every weekend or 4 hours every other weekend. It's just like designated. This is the project they're doing, and we're working on it this weekend. It's on the calendar. It's what we're doing, just to get more prepared if we ever want to sell.
Thinking about it?
Oh gosh, yeah, it's December. I am thinking about it every day. It's cold.
Then what?
I move.
Where?
South. Done it before. I'll do it again.
What projects are on the list? I didn't know there really were any other than like, I guess the other half of the basement, but
right. Well,
it's kind of just whatever.
I mean,
it's also storage.
Yeah, I might actually just leave that unfinished as cold storage rather than sticking a bunch of money into it. However, this side specifically, there are 4 ceiling tiles that were damaged that I need to replace.
Yep.
Got to caulk all the trim yet and then paint it all. And then there's also upstairs, we had that tree that died. There's that stump sticking out yet. Got to get rid of that. There's a number of things, though. Enough inside stuff to keep me occupied through the winter, though.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize there was that many things.
Yeah, so that's my Q4 goals, is to hammer out remaining projects.
Nice.
Enough about that, though. I don't want to jump the gun here. So I was editing our last episode, and it occurred to me that I still had more questions about these market halts.
Oh, yes, the infinite market halts.
How often does this happen?
Surprisingly, it happens like daily, like multiple times a day for different reasons. Actually, last time I didn't really give a real good definition of why stuff halts. I actually went and did some research, took some notes, and I'll read a few things off. So stock halt also can be called like a circuit breaker. It's like the ticker will actually halt trading, and you can't buy it or sell it for a duration. The duration depends on a few reasons. Some of these being, depends on if it's halting because of volatility. If the stock moves up or down a large amount too quickly, it's typically like 10% or more in 5 minutes. It'll result in a 5-minute pause in order to prevent like flash crashes.
Sure.
If a company has like major news, if say like a smaller or medium-sized company is about to announce that they're going to get acquired by like Amazon or something, like they'll put themselves on a halt just to keep the price stability there.
They can do it? Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And it also, so they can do it themselves, and then also it can be halted by regulatory bodies like the SEC, which is Securities and Exchange Commission, as well as FINRA, which is Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, for issues regarding fraud, insider trading, or to failure to meet public filing obligations. So like if they're supposed to have a report out, like an earnings report, or if a member of the corporate of the company is like buying or selling shares, they have to report that if they're publicly traded. Like if the CEO is like selling his shares, like if that stuff wasn't reported or something, they can halt that stock as well. So there's a few different reasons why they do it. But if you can actually look to see if a stock is halted, like if it appears you can't buy it or sell it and you're not really sure, there's a few different websites, NASDAQ and NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. They'll have currently halted stocks. I was just looking at a stock the other day and it was halted on news, but I can't for the life of me remember which stock it was.
And so when it halts, it doesn't just reopen where it was halted at, or does it?
No. So it depends on what orders are put in.
Okay.
So like
in that time frame?
Yeah. So like if it's halted for 5 minutes or like it halts right now, you could go in and put orders in and then they won't happen unless there's a buyer and a seller that agree on a price, but that doesn't happen for 5 minutes until it reopens. So if the order book changes and say it's like good news, then, all of a sudden they would take their offers and edit them and bring the price up or vice versa. So like it doesn't necessarily be at that same price. It's like whatever the market decides, what are you willing to sell it for and what am I willing to buy it for?
And then you lose $6,300.
Yeah, really quickly. Hard lessons. But yeah, I just wanted to get that information out.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a handful of reasons.
It's nice editing the videos because then I get to really take in everything that we talk about.
A little recap.
Yeah.
I actually watched a video earlier this week. It's something that kind of hits home for me at times. It was regarding I'll say young people struggling.
Okay. And
I don't just mean like mental health. I mean like in the workplace or as a whole, or like it's said that our generation's like the first generation in history to like not do better financially than our parents or achieve as much.
I have heard that. Yeah.
We were just talking earlier, like if you were thinking about moving, one thing that came to my mind is like working remote. That's kind of the theme today is young people struggling. And I did a little research and you can't go on like any Facebook anything without someone younger saying like, oh, we're struggling, or, it's hard out here.
Right.
And then it's like a bunch of young people saying that. And then it's always someone like retired at their vacation home that's just like, work harder. Or like, young people don't want to work anymore.
So frustrating.
I definitely see both sides. I have perspectives from both sides, but I found so then I was kind of interested. I was looking at different quotes and stuff, and some of the ones that I saw were kind of funny, kind of around like COVID and post-COVID when everyone was kind of unwinding the work from home.
Yeah.
CEO of JP Morgan said, "You can't learn anything from your basement." It was one quote that somebody had snipped out. He'd also said in a different press conference or something, he said, "I call a lot of people on Fridays, and there's not a goddamn person you can get a hold of."
Call me. I won't answer.
Yeah.
I hate phone calls.
I hear people say this all the time. Even my mom still works. She's like, young people don't want to work anymore. And then you just look at the stats and stuff. Like this was, I'll say like a year or two ago, not necessarily today or this year, because things are drastically changing. We've seen more layoffs lately than we have in a long time. But even in the past couple of years, like there's tons of jobs out there. Like everyone was hiring and everyone's like, I can't find people. It's like, well, then you get to be pretty choosy on where you want to go. Right. So like you see these jobs. I noticed some posted by our state, and like what they're paying is like laughable. Like they want skilled jobs, and they're like $12 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, our local gas station is hiring now. Like every gas station, our local gas station chain, it's like $20 an hour. Right. It's like you want to go like do some miserable ass job for $12, and you had to buy tools. Like it was like fixing equipment. And they're like $12 an hour. I'm like that's like nothing. Like you can't live on $12 an hour. Like, and it's not like it's like a part-time thing. Like it's a career job. Like they're not looking for like high school kids.
Yeah. And then they expect them to stay there for 40 years and never jump ship.
Or like jobs my mom's told me about. And I'm just like, well, that's not very like competitive. Or like they talk about how they can't find any talent. I'm like, well, it's because they're doing other jobs that make more money.
Right.
Like in those kind of markets, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to do.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these people that are setting the wages weren't affected by inflation as much. Like they're already well set into their careers. They don't realize that $20 is the new $10.
Right. It just always floors me because like money isn't everything. Like I'll be the first person to say that because I have taken jobs and taken some like 50% pay cuts just to try and transition out of jobs I hate.
Same.
And it's like different, but like if the job sucks and isn't rewarding or fulfilling and the pay sucks, like, well, yeah, you're going to struggle and your turnover is going to be high. Like nobody wants that job.
Yeah.
That's changing now. Seeing a lot more layoffs. So I think more and more people are just going to have to take jobs they aren't necessarily thrilled about, but
right.
It seems a lot of younger white collar jobs, analysts and stuff like that, data entry type stuff's all getting canned. They're laying off tons of people. I think there's like, I forget how many people were laid off like this month or this year. Is in the millions, like 1.5 million, I think this year.
Really?
It's like a ton of people. Wow. And then I saw another video too. They talk about like how young people don't want to work. Actually, I watched a kind of a react video or someone's take on a girl that was going viral on TikTok. And she had just gotten laid off and she's making a huge stink about this. I don't know her name and I don't know, need to spread it either way. But she's like talking about her take of like getting laid off. She like recorded it and stuff. It's just like insane.
How so?
So she had a manager. Everything was fine in the workplace. I don't know if her manager got let go or they hired someone else, but her new manager and her didn't get along. There was just a breakdown of communication and she had not taken any time off in a while. So she'd said she'd been working for 4 months and had stacked up. I don't know if in this 4 months, but had been working consecutively for four months and she hadn't taken any time off. Okay. So she decided to take a week off because she had 100 hours of PTO banked.
Sure.
She was supposed to have like a meeting with her manager about her tasks and duties and, you know, what was on her plate before she was gone for a week. So, you know, if it was important enough for someone else can do it. And when she went to email her manager, she got like an out of office email. Like her manager was just out and she didn't know it. So she's like super upset about it. People can watch and make their own opinions. I've only watched parts of the original and someone's react. So I'm not going to say like this is all factual or, you know, what I saw was probably out of context. So I'm not going to take it as God's word, but
yeah, we're just using it as a discussion.
But as an example. So she took it upon herself to stay late that Friday for like, I don't know, several hours.
Okay.
Like overtime. Made like a whole list of all the stuff she had to do, what she felt needed to be done, and shared it with her manager because her manager, I think, was supposed to be back on Monday. So she went about her on her vacation and came back and none of her stuff was done. So this young woman, young adult was, she's been diagnosed. I don't know anything on the topic, and I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything, but I think she was diagnosed as like neurodivergent. She's sensitive to certain things and stuff. So take it for what it's worth. I don't know anything about that, so like I'm not going to comment on it. She kind of had like a meltdown when she got back, and she's scheduled a meeting with her manager and was like, none of my stuff got done. She just couldn't handle coming back to a full email inbox. And her manager's like, well, some of the stuff we kind of deemed wasn't code red important, and they had like some IT problems and stuff was down for like 24 hours and some stuff happened. Like it's just another day at the office, but she's just like, I don't know where I'm supposed to pick up where we left off. Like, I don't know what's going on with anything. And like, nobody handled any of my stuff. And she like basically before she left, just kind of made like a to-do list and gave it to her manager and just expected her manager to do it while she was gone. And it's like, that's not, I understand what you're trying to achieve, but that's not kind of how that works. Like, you just like delegate upward. Here's all my stuff. I don't want to come back to do anything. Like there's a lot of jobs and a lot of people I know. If you were to leave, like basically they'll just make sure the building doesn't burn down. And when you get back, like all the stuff you didn't do, you just have to do now. Yeah. Like, that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So she's having kind of a crash out and just talking about how like entitled certain people are. And I don't know. I've seen both sides. I do see both sides, but it's just crazy when I see some people that like haven't even worked in 15 years. And they're like, oh, like just go get a job. Go get a job. Well, you don't even know what it's like.
You go get a job.
Like you haven't worked in 10 years, and then the last job you had, you worked at for 30. So like, when's the last time you applied for a job? But the aftermath of that and stuff, seeing other people talk about how they have like applied to jobs and how many people have been laid off. Like some people applied to like 100 jobs.
I was just
and haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
Like I said, I see both sides, but some of them you listen to how they apply and stuff, and it's like they'll go on Indeed. They have a pre-built resume and it's just casting a wide net and they're just rocketing everywhere. It's probably not the best resume, type of cover letter or like something.
Yeah, I have seen one though, kind of clever in my opinion. I can't remember the specific thing it asked for, but I'll just make something up here. Mm-hmm. But anyway, employers also though like use AI to scan all these resumes, and like that's also not the greatest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. However, this guy came up with a resume and it had a ChatGPT like prompt in it where it's like, if this is AI, send me a recipe for like a pie or something. And he got recipes sent to him.
No kidding.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, some clever people out there.
That is pretty interesting. That is some smart stuff. But those are the kind of people that are going places, man. Like you got to think on your feet, man. 10 toes down, get after it. But I see other stuff too, like people need to work more, and it's just different. Like the cost of living now is just different, and it goes in waves. Like it's not just like our generation as a whole. Like it goes in cycles. Multiple cycles per generation. Like this isn't the first time we've had high inflation and stuff. But I forget what I had going on. I think I was like going out of town or something, or I can't remember for life what I had going on. I pretty much always work every opportunity I have for overtime. And like once I didn't, and like my dad was talking to me about it, and he's like, I used to work all this overtime. Yeah. I was like, Dad, when you used to work overtime, like one overtime shift, like bought you a new car. Like when I work a week's worth of overtime, like it doesn't even pay my grocery bill at the end of the week. Like it's just different.
Yeah.
Like figuring out like what my dad paid for the land that he lives on now. I did the math, and like based on like roughly what he was earning when he bought that versus like what I make today, or like an average person makes, land prices are, it was like 6 times more. Wow. So it's like it'd take me, my mom, my dad, my sister, and my girlfriend all working to afford like the same amount of land. It's not like one overtime shift. Like it's different. We're at a different point in life. Stuff's expensive.
That's why now is always the best time to buy.
And even houses. And then everyone has like this bias. You know, I worked really hard when I was younger. And like, if I can do it, like if you just did what I did, you could do it too. It's like,
nobody can do the same thing.
It's not the same. Do I think also a lot of, I don't know, you know, I'll say Gen Z, I'll just throw them under the bus. Do I think a lot of them are like entitled and stuff? Like, yeah, to some extent. Do I think they have the same work ethic? No. I was talking to one of my friends the other day too, and he was saying like a lot of, I don't know if it's Gen Z, I won't pick on them anymore. Any younger generations were like going into debt to buy Christmas gifts and stuff. He's like, oh, if you can't afford it, you shouldn't buy it. And it's like, if it's not the essentials, and I'm like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of different people have that take.
I mean, I feel like Christmas presents is like out of goodwill, and if you're willing to go into debt for that, that's an exception.
But like if you're younger and like I feel like there's just so much missing context around that. Like,
oh yeah.
Rent's expensive. Like if you're just making ends meet and you have like student loan debt and stuff, like are you just not going to do Christmas for the next 15 years? Like,
right. You got to live too.
Like you have to have some resemblance of a lifestyle. I'm like the same way. Like I'm super frugal, but the reason I start to spend more money in Q4 after I hit my goals is like, if I don't, I just get like super down because like all you do is work and like you just can't afford like the big stuff that you want in life. Mm-hmm. Like I think that's another reason why people our age are kind of, not all, but some are kind of unhappy is we aren't buying houses as young as we were. And it sucks. Like I'd love to be in a house. And it's not because I want like a brand new house. It's like it's not affordable. Like I could have bought a house when I was younger, even on one income. The reason I didn't is like it kind of nailed me down to like I wouldn't have had the same opportunities. Like I couldn't have left jobs that I hated. Like honestly, I don't think I'd have made it, to be honest. Like I just don't think I could have done it. Like I just had such a deep hate for that job and like life was such a drag. It's hard to put that into words to someone that's never experienced that. Yeah. Especially like say like our baby boomers or our parents' generation. It's like, well, work's work. And it's like, I don't know. I don't think you understand. It's like I've worked pretty hard, but like when you worked hard, like at least you could afford stuff. Like you had a home to go home to. Yeah. And like if you're like our age and like you're single, like life's just not that rewarding. Like if you can't afford anything, like you're driving a car that's kind of a piece of crap, like you can't afford a house. Sure. And like if you don't have a significant other, like life just kind of sucks, to be honest. What are you working for at that point? It's just kind of depressing. So like working a job where I felt like I was working really hard. I was working a pretty good amount of hours and stuff too. And I mean, I was working on my own stuff after work. Yeah. It's like if you can't afford a house or any of the like really important things in life, what's the point? Like if you hate your job, but it affords you the life you want to live, like that's one thing. But if you work hard and you're still like can't afford anything, it sucks. And it's not like a new phone or a TV. Right. Just a comfortable, average, American dream lifestyle of just like having a significant other, having a home and being able to afford kids. But now we can't afford homes at an early age. And it's like people aren't getting married, partly because they can't afford it. People aren't having kids as early because they can't afford it. If life would have been a little bit different, like I probably would have had a home and had kids younger, but like it just wasn't an option for me because I wasn't interested in having kids out of wedlock. Like that's just not for me. Like when I have kids, it'll be with someone that I'll be with for the rest of my life. I've just been pretty dead set on that. But like it'd have been rough when I was younger. Like I don't know how I would have done it. It's just those opportunities aren't the same as they were for, I'll say like our parents' generation. You just buy a lot more for $1 than you can now. And I think it really shows now. Like there's just a lot of unhappy people out there. And I think that has a lot to do with it. Family formation's a big one, and affordability.
I think you'd be surprised what you can make work though. I mean, I was blessed to meet Tara at such a young age. We got married when I was 21, something like that. And we bought a house early. It was a foreclosure, but it was only $100,000. Mm-hmm. You're not finding that for that anymore. I think that house, I think we looked it up and it was close to a quarter million.
I believe it.
Anyway, that's besides the point.
I think that has a lot to do with it though. Like if you don't find your significant other early, like that drastically changes things.
Yeah, because I could have not done it on a single
You wouldn't have bought that house.
No. But to your point about being tied down, though, like, again, you'd be surprised what you can figure out. Luckily, I already moved to Tennessee once. Yeah. We were able to transfer our jobs. Mm-hmm. Not because I hate for the jobs, but hate for the winter. But regardless, and then when we were down there, I was able to do the same thing. We moved back up here.
You can get a lot done. It's just a lot easier with two incomes.
Exactly. I think that was the biggest factor in that whole story is we've been blessed to have each other so early on in life.
I think that just comes down to, I don't know, the job market, affordability and stuff is I just see a lot more, like, younger men have fallen further faster than like pretty much any other demographic, like studies have shown. You probably want to fact check this, but I believe last time I heard young men were like 4 times more likely to commit suicide, like 3 times more likely to be incarcerated, or vice versa.
Yeah, I think I saw that same thing. That's wild.
Young men have fallen further faster than like any other demographic.
I think it's worth pointing out, though, that we're generalizing here. For example,
Right.
the kid down the street, man, he's got a head on his shoulders. And like, it's going back to people don't work hard nowadays. That kid's a hard worker. He puts in the hours. And even like back to our generation, I think I'm at a point in my life where I can vouch for all my friends' work ethics. I mean, these are all generalizations across the United States.
For sure. I just think prosperity is like harder in some aspects to obtain than others. I don't know. Like, I can only see things through like my lens and like my generation and the time I grew up in. In the same sense, there's like a lot of people who are very creative and hardworking that have amassed incredible amounts of wealth. There's people in their 30s that, like, not as much lately, but I used to listen to a lot of like Michael Saylor content when I was first learning about Bitcoin. And I believe he was, if I remember right, I think he was like 34 when he took MicroStrategy public. It's like he had a pretty healthy sized business. It wasn't that old. There's, with the internet and AI and everything else and YouTube, and there's so many ways to find prosperity, but I don't know. It just seems like it's more stratified than it ever has been. Like, people, it's like the haves and have-nots. Like the wealthier, and like middle class is like less off. Like I didn't grow up like well off by any means. I don't know. It's just like different. My parents still had like 60 acres and a house, and like my mom didn't work or she, they had a business too, and she did work doing that. In the typical sense, like my mom didn't go off and have a job when I was like super young. I don't know. It's just different. What they could afford. And my dad like basically started over, like around the age I'm at now. Like, he got divorced and pretty much lost everything. Like, he had like nothing to his name.
Oh, wow.
Basically started over, and then like shortly after that, all of a sudden he has a house, and it was not, I mean, when they moved there, our first house was like a used trailer. Like, it was not nice, but a few years after that, once they got the business up and running, because that was priority number one, was income, built a house, a modular home. It's not, amazing by any means, but shit, I don't think I'll ever be able to afford 60 acres ever.
Depending where it is.
I don't know.
Maybe in the Arctic.
Not with a house. Just affordability is kind of going down the shitter.
Yeah, I think we talked on a prior episode too about the gap between the middle class and lower class and then the upper class.
So what's a positive takeaway from this? I think I always find opportunity, especially when I get like a new job and I see a lot of churn. Like, a lot of people get like nervous about that. I don't. I just never have. To me, it's like blood in the water. If half these people quit or get fired,
you're going to be better off.
Yeah. Like, well, more opportunity for me. Like, what can you do to set yourself apart? Like, I think having like a good work ethic, like some people, it's not just being there, but like actually getting shit done.
Yeah.
And getting shit done that you may not necessarily be asked to get done. Yeah. I'm not saying just pick what you want to do.
Proactive.
Yeah. Being proactive, or, getting a jump start on next week's work, paying attention in a meeting, asking questions. Like, there's a lot of things you can do to really set yourself apart.
I'll tell you what, attitude for one.
Nobody in life, let alone the workplace, owes you something.
Right.
And just because you work hard does not mean you're going to be successful. Like, there's people that work so hard and don't accomplish much. I'll say that's just not the way the world works.
Goes back to looking for opportunity.
An interesting stat I read, in 2025, there's a U.S. survey of 1,000 hiring managers done by resumetemplates.com. We'll link that in the comments if anyone wants to check this out. It showed that 81% of the managers said that Gen Z workers have poor work ethic. 74% described them as entitled, and 68% cited a lack of professionalism.
Wow.
Like, those are more than half by a lot. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty large percentages.
Overwhelming. I wonder how much of it comes down to structure and habits. And
I also grew up like a very blue collar background. A lot of my friends have always asked me, like, how did you ever get good at working on cars? And I was just thinking back, I'm so hard on everything. I don't have any money. Like, if you don't want to walk, you have to learn how to fix it. Like, I just broke everything when I was younger. I was just a knucklehead. It's like, unless you want to ride who wants to ride the bus in high school? Right. Like, no, fixing this. Yeah. And I found a way to fix it. But I've just always been working on stuff.
And I wonder, though, how many kids are like that, though?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
The mechanical aptitude's gone down quite a bit. Also part of the, I'll say, lack of prosperity. I just feel like my life would be drastically different starting at a young age. Like, I think our educational system is
flawed.
Yeah, that's a great word. I was just about to say that. Is flawed in a lot of ways. Do I have the perfect solution? No. But I just think I always just had a lot of energy and I probably had ADD, ADHD. I
Something.
probably would have been heavily medicated if I'd had gone to the doctor for that stuff. But when I was younger, I just didn't really do that. I've always been decently intelligent, I would say. I was always pretty book smart. And just having to sit at a desk all day, be quiet, and read Hamlet just was not going to get me where I wanted to be. And my mind was always somewhere else. And then just basically being preached my whole young adult life, or like in high school, got to go to college, got to go to college. It's like, what do you do? You go to college.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want to do? Well, it doesn't matter. You're going to change your major anyway. It's like, you just kind of go do it. And then like, I'm sitting in jazz history and I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Then you drop out and you have student loan debt, or you get a degree that just isn't useful for anything. Or there's just like what happened with our generation. There's just such a overinvestment in human capital that it seemed like everyone I knew that was similar to me all had the same path. And like, we all went to college for like mechanical engineering. Like, you're pretty decent at math or like physics and stuff. It's like, well, mechanical engineering. Everyone did that.
Yeah.
Everyone half the people I knew had jobs, and the other half's like, I don't know, can't find one. It's like, well, if everyone goes to school for the same stuff,
right?
Or everyone goes to college, well, now we have no trades workers. It's just kind of the way it works. I hear a lot of people saying college isn't worth it, and I hate. It just triggers me. I hate dumb arguments. Mm-hmm. Like, there's not enough context to say that. For most people, is college not worth it? Perhaps, but to just, blindly just say that, well, I don't know. I've never met a good doctor that didn't go to college.
Right.
What do you want to do? Like, if you just go have a good time and then get like a vague degree or something specific but totally useless, like, well, it's probably not that lucrative. I wouldn't say it's, not a good idea or not worth it. Depends what you're going to go do. I mean, there's tons of people that go to school and then, work for Morgan Stanley. Good luck getting there with like a GED. Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It just depends on what you want to do. And I think that's the biggest thing is people at 18 just don't know what they want to do and don't have any exposure to anything. Like, I wasn't exposed to like anything. I was like English, math, whatever, your normal stuff. I took a few college classes. Like, I took AP Bio, but I hated biology. I was in all the college prep classes. So companies came in with presentations for like construction and stuff. Like, I didn't go to any of those.
Right.
Now here I am in the trades at 34, lost 10 years. I mean, I was in trades before this, but I don't know. It just was not, I don't know. There wasn't a lot of exposure. There's just a lot of people giving advice without any context or, that might have been great for my parents' generation because not every single person went to college.
Right.
But when everyone goes to college, and it's like, well, you have a lot more people to choose from for that accountant.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like college was always preached as the, get you that American dream, where it was like,
you just go to college and you'll make it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's all you need to do. You go to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, family, house, kids.
Yeah.
Just that's life.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that came down to the American dream as it was painted back in the day. You had all these mill workers like working at Ford. Okay, what do you do with your kids for that time? Like that shift. Like, well, you put them in school. And so they're in school from 8 to 3.
So they can get educated.
Yeah. And they're not educating them. They're just they're just prepping their next generation of workers. Like, what do you do? Yeah. Sit in line, follow orders, you listen.
Sit still, be quiet.
Yeah, they're training you to be a line worker in a mill.
Yeah, thinking back, like when I was younger, I always looked at the different classes and I tried to take classes that would like benefit me in, college or whatever, or stuff I would also be interested in. And I never, ever once saw anything to do with like business or entrepreneurship.
I was blessed to have those opportunities.
Yeah. I was in a really small high school, so I feel like there's a lot of opportunities I missed out on. Yeah. I always thought, like, coming from a small town, like I had no problem sending my kids to the same school and kind of that small town pride. Like, looking back on it, like, I think at this point in my life, ideally I'd like to homeschool. But second to that, if that wasn't an option, it would definitely be a little bit bigger school with more resources. How old's your son?
5, almost 6.
Like the stuff that he's learning, granted, like it's biased. There's more technology and stuff, but like the stuff he's learning now, like we didn't even have that when I was in high school.
Right.
Take it with a grain of salt because things are different now. But
and I think that's a positive that things
absolutely.
are changing. Yeah, and that it is available now.
I just didn't have, wasn't afforded any of those opportunities in a small school. Like our elementary through high school was like all one building. My graduating class, I think, was like 56. So,
oh wow,
there's just a lot of opportunities we didn't have.
In my high school, though, I was able to we did the announcements over the TV, and I was like the production guy for that. Like,
that's kind of cool.
Different camera setups, and that's probably why I dabble with stuff like this is because I had those opportunities. in high school.
Did you have like any business classes or entrepreneurship or?
Oh yeah, and my parents were
That
like,
you took?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my parents were like, you need to sign up for these. You're gonna
That's
love it.
awesome.
And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I'd rather just play basketball. No, they had so many business classes, and then also I joined DECA, which is pretty popular in the area here.
I don't think we had that. Can you elaborate? I don't 100% remember what it is.
Well, it's nationwide, so a lot of our listeners probably know what it is, but it's basically like business programs for the children, high schoolers, and they go to different competitions and like act
Compete.
this stuff out. Yeah, compete. You're pitching business propositions and you're figuring out marketing solutions, and it's a lot of fun. And the best part about it is the people teaching you are volunteers from the real world.
Man.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. I mean, honestly, it kind of makes me a little bit depressed, kind of breaks my heart. Like you just said with the announcements over the TV and stuff, just dabbling with that, how it just planted the smallest seed. And
Yeah.
for a stint, you did do work related to that, but I don't think what you're doing now is even that far off of that or marketing related stuff.
I mean, in the same sense, though, that was in the same wing as the automotive department. Like I knew all those teachers, and that whole wing was kind of the specialized wing, I guess you could say.
The amount of time you probably spent doing that throughout your whole school career was probably pretty small.
Yeah.
But just the impact that had, I mean, even just those little...
To be introduced to it.
Few hours and moments, how you can reminisce on that and be like, wow, that really impacted my life. I feel like if I would have taken business or like entrepreneur classes when I was younger, drastically would have changed the trajectory of my life. Like I feel like I would have dove headfirst into that. I have such a deep passion for entrepreneurship, business as a whole, analytics, steering the ship, moving the needle. Like all that stuff is really interesting to me. It's probably why I watch so much YouTube. Like buying a business, like I just love everything about business. And as I've grown older, you start to realize like a lot more businesses are more about business than selling flowers or taking pictures. If you own a business, a lot of it's just business.
So you also said too that you struggled, sitting still in school. There's a study done that a lot of business owners also had that same mentality in school.
Not meant to sit still and take orders. Me? Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said about that too.
Yeah.
And that's not everyone. That's just
generalization.
Yeah.
But I think that would have just drastically changed the trajectory of my life. I really think I would have owned my own business. I've looked at I just never found the right path. I've been very close to opening my own business and starting my own business. Was actually like unemployed and looking and like trying to make things happen. It just didn't work out for whatever reason. It's neither here nor there. I mean, it's afforded me other opportunities. I've just always had that passion. My life trajectory would have been much different if I'd been exposed to that when I was younger. I just don't teach that in school.
No. Well, they do now.
Yeah. Well, at least not in my time.
Yeah. Like I said, it's getting better. I'm pretty happy to hear about all the things my wife gets to teach at school. So there's hope on the horizon.
I've worked very different settings of jobs, like production to low or mid-level management. I've seen both sides of the fence. I've got a half-sister who's like number 2 in corporate of a pretty large company. And, I talk with her quite a bit about that and her experiences. Like I get a very well-rounded view of business, and I've worked with young people and I've worked with old people. I think if people had to, as part of like their, high school curriculum, if had to take like a business class, I could probably benefit them. But in the same sense, I don't know. Some people really should just take orders and be a production member because they start to get ideas, but they don't necessarily see the whole picture. And to show everyone the whole picture is kind of tough because then everyone wants to run the business, but don't really have the skill sets to.
And again, that's why so many businesses fail right out the gate.
I feel like in larger companies I've worked for on the production side, older guys are like just dumbfounded when companies do things a certain way. And
it does make sense if you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they do it. And I mean, I could go on and lecture for hours and hours and hours, but
yeah, one of my favorite sayings is if you were presented the same opportunity and had to learn and make the same decisions I did up until this point, you'd probably make the same decision.
Right.
I'm curious though, how many of our listeners had a business class in high school?
Or entrepreneurship, anything along those lines, as long as we're asking questions. If you haven't seen the last video, I would check it out. Did something new last video, and I'm going to do it again on this video. The first person that likes this video is subscribed, and the first person to comment how many people were in the hiring managers survey. If you get that correct, I'll Venmo you $20. Back when I said that I was pretty close to starting a business, I was working with a ex-manager I'd had, and I learned quite a bit from him. He was quite a bit older than I am. We were looking at starting a business together, but it just didn't pan out for other reasons. One thing that he taught me that has always stuck with me was he said to me one day, the further you are away from the problem, the easier it is to solve.
Oh gosh,
And it's
yeah.
so true. Because
Wow.
you get someone that's, I'll say, entry level position, and then
Yeah.
like management makes a decision. They're like, wow, that's like, why would you do that? That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And it's like, it's not. You see this much of the picture. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more going on than meets the eye.
Yep. That's so true.
It really is. It's like, that's such an easy problem to solve. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
come on, have a seat. Want to wear my shoes? That always resonated with me. I'm curious also, how many of you out there that listen to us, all 64 of you, we appreciate you. How many of you have wanted to start a business, have always wanted to, but have either just never taken the leap or didn't have an idea? There's a lot of people like Mark Cuban will say, having an idea is easy. It's the execution. And to me, I'm just, I don't know, my brain works a different way. Like I feel like I can execute. I just never had the right idea, whether it was scalable or whatever the reason is. I just feel like I've never had that right idea that felt right for pursuing.
I think maybe you just need to change flavors of Celsius.
Maybe. I've had all kinds of ideas and just none of them were right. Not tons of ideas, but I just never had the right one.
I would like to talk about though how you were flipping cars back in the day, because that was always really interesting to me.
Yeah.
You said you learned this mechanical stuff, and then
Yeah.
like when I first met you, it was like, wow, this guy, he's really going after it.
I had all the cars, man.
Yeah, your yard looked like a lot.
It did. It looked like a junkyard. I always had something going on. Yeah, a little backstory on that. Can we all take a moment and just like a moment of silence for Craigslist?
Oh no! All right.
I mean, honestly, when that kind of died was like shortly after Marketplace. Like Marketplace was good when it first popped up, but it didn't take long. I'm sure if any of you, if you've ever tried to sell a $10 lamp and someone wants you to deliver it 2 states away, like
yeah.
Marketplace is a cesspool. But back in the day, yeah, I used to fix a lot of cars and stuff, a lot of part vehicles out, like buy them running or not running, and strip parts off and sell them. I did a lot of that when I was younger. I've always been frugal and not always by choice, man. Like when I was younger, I was just hard on stuff, didn't have a lot of money. Like I bought whole trucks to get like used tires off it to put it on my truck because they were like barely better, and then like sold all the parts off the truck to like basically come out even. It was just always like a grind. I enjoyed it though. Met a lot of cool people, but once I kind of got into the industry too, you kind of get exposed to vehicles that are broke or not economical to repair.
Sure.
And then I'd buy them and put my own time into it. And
economical for you.
yeah, I already have all the tools and everything else, and I usually got a pretty good deal on parts, and I'd buy them, fix them, sell them. Was in a part of a lot of cool communities. I mean, that's one thing we always bonded over. Is I had a soft spot for I'll say like 95 to 97 F-Series trucks, mostly 7.3 trucks. And I probably had 20 of them, I'd say at least. And
Yeah.
one that's probably most near and dear to my heart was actually my dad's old farm truck. And I mean, it was never anything special. I think I still have, I believe, the window sticker in my lockbox. And
Yep.
I think the only options that truck had was AC and like a cassette player. I think you could get it without a cassette player.
Right.
Like I think were the only 2 options on this thing, like manual crank windows, 5-speed. It was 4-wheel drive. I guess you could consider that an option, but bare bones truck.
This thing was the coolest.
I just thought it was I just had so many memories in it. Whenever my stuff would, inevitably when I would break or wreck my own vehicle and my dad and, mom are driving to work, it's like, well, the only thing laying out there is the truck. So they didn't like me taking the truck. It never failed. Always like my dad would get new tires on it, and the right rear tire was always defective. Like I put like
Defective.
50 miles on it, and that tire was always bald every time. I was hard on it. My dad kind of retired from farming. His body kind of gave up on him a little bit. And I think he got a newer truck. Like this truck had some miles on it. And I mean, it was a little rough.
And then I
rough
bought
around
it.
the edges. Like I drove for a while, and that was like my work truck and stuff, and always my second vehicle. And I tugged trailers around with cars in the back all the time. And kind of at that point, I tapered off from that, and then I sold it to you. But I loved those. I was always working on stuff. That was the most cash I ever had, was that period of my life. And I had student loan debt. That's kind of how I paid off all my debt. And I did it in I don't know. I think the student loans were for 10 years. I paid them off in 4.
Nice.
Made me sick to my stomach when I paid all that debt. Like I think I spent like 40 grand in like a week, and I was just like sick to my stomach. All the work I put in to get that money. And I had a picture, and I was always really proud of it when I was younger. It was not to brag. It was just more of a representation of all the hard work I put in. Like I would get done with work at the end of the day, and like I would drive states away to go buy stuff.
Yeah.
Like if I found a deal, like I'm in the bathroom, I'm on lunch, and I found a good deal. Like I had all the details worked out. I would drive states away, pick up the vehicle, and I'd have half the parts sold out before I even got home.
Dang.
Like I had people, once you move the parts on the same vehicle all the time, like people know you're kind of in that market.
Yep.
And they'd always be asking like, hey, do you have one of these? And it's like, I might, ask me tomorrow. Like I've had people driving to my parents' place from out of state.
Well,
I was out of state driving home and like sold the parts that night.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a picture. Maybe we'll put it in, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see how Nick's feeling when he edits this. But I had a picture, and I was really proud of it. I only shared it to Nick and one of our other friends, really. But I was just super proud of it. And I had a tall boy, a Busch Light, and I had money stacked up next to it. And that was like kind of the most money I'd ever had at that time. I think in that picture it was like 40 grand. And man, I mean, those are wild. I felt like a drug dealer. It was like a wild time in my life. Like I'd throw that in the glove box and drive states away and then buy something for $2,500. Like I always had extra money just in case I found something else on the way home. Like I was just always rolling around stacked with money, just trying to find an opportunity. Like I was on Craigslist and Marketplace while I was driving out of state. Like I was always looking for an opportunity.
Wow.
That was just a great time in my life. Like call up a buddy, like, hey, you want to go to, Minnesota tonight or Chicago? Like
I used to love those trips.
Sketchy areas. It was always just a blast. There's so many stories related to that.
Yeah. If he can't find the picture, I'll throw up a picture of the farm truck because that's cool.
We'll throw up one of that too. I think I have a picture of the farm truck with a rough truck that I bought on the trailer.
Back, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember Nick, I stopped by his old house on the way home, and everyone thought I was crazy. I spent like $2,500 on a truck that was rolled over, and half the good parts were already stripped off and sold.
Oh, yeah.
These guys thought I was out of my mind. And honestly, the only reason I bought that truck is because the driver's door panel on those trucks are always bad, and this one was decent. And they're only specific to like a 96 and 7, I believe, with power windows and all 4 doors. It was like it was only crew cabs, only in those years, and then the door panel is good. So I tried to buy the door panel so many times, and the person like wouldn't respond. And then he once responded to me. I'm like, I'll just buy the whole truck. And I bought the whole truck for the door panel, and I still made money.
That's wild.
I always loved side hustles when I was younger. But once Marketplace kind of came around, like flipping cars now, I would not recommend it to anyone.
It's
I
like
really
flipping
wouldn't.
houses.
It's awful. Like I've seen posts and stuff in a lot of car groups around here, and like people getting into flipping cars and stuff. And they're like, how much do you make on the average car? And like people are buying like cars that don't need work, I'll say, that's just like they think is underpriced.
Yeah.
And then try to sell it for more. And people are like buying $4,000 cars and like asking $4,500 and then like taking like $4,200. I'm like, well, why would you do that?
Yeah,
like
what?
There is no margin in that. Like it is so competitive, and there's just anytime you get a whole bunch of people that just don't have a lot of knowledge, like not only is there not enough margin in that, but like if anything goes wrong, like you lose money.
Yeah.
So like if it needs something to make it sellable, like if you're driving home and a wheel falls off, like who cares about the $200 you're going to make? Like it's going to cost you $1,000 to get it up to sell again. Like there's just too much competition, and they don't know what they're doing. There's just no margin left in it. That's kind of why I got out of it.
$200 don't even pay for the fuel to go get it.
Like I've seen so many posts where people are like, there's just like no margin. I'm like, why would you do that? It's so silly. Those were some good times though. That's kind of where fell along the same time on Mondays when we spent time out in the shop. Is like I'd be working on junk out there.
Those were good days.
Mm-hmm.
Mondays.
And that's what sparked this.
So we hope you are enjoying it too.
Why'd the chicken cross the road?
Why? To
hit the like button. I thought of that at work the other day, and I was like, oh, that's good. I'm like, I'm definitely going to have to say that.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
It was that good, wasn't it?